Hey guys, Derek here. We are back with another episode of My Hero Academia. This is season 4, episode 4. This is about Red Riot. Season 4, episode 4. Last time on My Hero Academia, Mirio and Midoriya were on patrol and they ran into Overhaul and his daughter. I don't know if it's actually his daughter, but he said it was his daughter. And it seems like they've maybe got some connected quirkiness going on. So I'm gonna roll with it for now. They ran into Overhaul and his daughter, and it was a very tense standoff. They kind of had to grapple with the two options of like fighting this guy now because they know that he's the bad guy, but they also don't know what his ability is. So I think if they did fight him, then they possibly both would have died. Especially Deku, because he would have gone in blazing fast and tried to beat the guy up, but all the guy needs is one touch. Mirio might have made it. Who knows? But yeah, so they had to grapple with the moral quandary of like, do we let this guy go? Even though we know he's the guy we need, because if we let him go, we can formulate a better strategy and he can lead us to the rest of what we're trying to find. Or do we do what heroes do and save this girl because she's in need of help? We're heroes. We can save her. And in the end, it was kind of a middle point, because once the girl realized that Overhaul was willing to kill these people and was about to, she decided to go back with him. And so it kind of like rendered the whole situation a moot point somewhat. But he knows that they're heroes, and I'm guessing he's aware that they know who he is, because it was very tense. We still don't 100% know what he's using her for, like what his plan is. So I hope we find that out soon. Yeah, and then the whole second half of the episode was just Midoriya talking to All Might and just wondering why didn't you tell me about any of this stuff? And you learn that All Might and Night Eye had a falling out because Night Eye believes someone else is better for the quirk that he has. He wanted All Might to step down, and he wanted him to step down because he saw him dying in the future. He saw him using his quirk against a villain and being brutally murdered. And that was like 5-6 years in the future or whatever. And so he figured if All Might steps down and doesn't use his ability and he passes it on to someone else, then he can save his mentor and his friend from dying. Which, in theory, is a good idea. That being said, you can kind of vibe with what All Might was saying, how long would that take for someone else to step up and take that mantle? Like, in the meantime, that All Might is just gone, like, what would happen to people? Like, people still need saving. Like, he, in his own mind, like, he was not gonna be willing to allow those people to still live in fear and possibly not be saved just to save his own life later. So yeah, he kind of ignored that, and they had a falling out. And he was actually on his way. He almost caved. He was on his way to meet Mirio and potentially like give him his power, or at least like pass it on to him. He would obviously still have it because he's used it plenty already while Deku has it. But he was on his way to meet him and like choose him as the successor when he ran into Deku. And that because of that, him and Night Eye still have this fractured relationship. But yeah, he kind of felt slightly ashamed of it. Like he didn't want to tell Midoriya that he was not the first choice because he's his fan. He didn't want him to think less of him. And he also didn't want him to have to think of him being killed. And then Midoriya tried to... He like, we know that All Might potentially will die within the next year to 2 years. Like, within anywhere from 6 months to 2 years from now. Like, I believe in the episodes they said this year or the next. So, yeah, it could be anywhere from a month to 23 months, give or take. All Might will die. And so Midoriya came up with the idea right as the episode was ending to just have Night Eye use his thing again, because if he uses it closer to when the event is supposed to happen, they'll know for certain if it's going to happen, like if the future's already been changed, and if it is, when exactly it's supposed to happen. But it's kind of like, in my opinion, it's kind of like Schrodinger's cat, almost, like, in this case, like Schrodinger's death. Like, this thing isn't necessarily set in stone until you open it up and look at it. Like, he could die, he could not die, but you don't know until you take that step to see if it's there. And I think them looking at that could solidify it. I don't know, timelines are weird. Anything could happen. But then this episode is not about that, from what I can tell. So, anyways, yeah. Please leave a like on this video. That helps a lot. If you want to see the rest of this season's reactions, please subscribe. Episode 3, it got blocked on YouTube, and I tried to edit it so it was better, but YouTube ended up just like essentially cutting almost the entire reaction. So that's pretty much just a review at this point. Like it's literally like this, kind of similar to this, like a preamble or whatever, and then there's like 5 seconds of a reaction, and then it just cuts to the end review. So I apologize for that. That was YouTube blocking it and cutting it up. Episode 4, actually, or episode 2 was blocked and cut up. Episode 3, maybe it was episode 3. One of them was blocked and cut up a bunch. And then the next episode also has been blocked. I disputed that. So hopefully that should be back up here in a day or two. I'm trying to figure out a way to not get these blocked, but we'll see. If you want to watch the full-length reaction of this episode, head down to Patreon. It's in the description. That would be awesome. I would love that. But other than that, let's just jump right into the episode. Wow. Are those two villains fighting? Dang. Is that electricity? Surge. Ooh. This is, yeah, this is their internship. That's cool. Dang, the art style of how they did their names is kind of interesting. I feel like it's very different. Ooh. Oh. Okay. So they're bringing them in? What is that thing? That thing is so weird. That's some disrespect right there. Yeah, they're both still trying to play the alpha. Ooh, that guy's fast. Whoa. Yeah, I'd be careful. What did that guy do? What the heck? He just can... So he has to eat... He has to eat the animal to be able to take that? What if he eats just like non-animalistic food? Ooh. Yeah, it won't really work against him because he's got rock hard skin. Oh. Straight to the jaw. Maybe those guys aren't villains. They're just people that are watching. Hey, what are you doing? What did you just do? What is that? Oh no. He's like the guy with the teeth, but did that thing just... Is it like a power booster? That looked like... Okay, so they're developing things that can take people's powers away and something that can boost powers. Interesting. Oh man. Did those other people get away? No, they didn't get away. Oh, frick. Oh, that's coming out of his eye. So not only did the power and length of his blades get stronger, but his the sharpness got stronger. Hey, that's not true. You're great.
You must have forgotten what you told me during the cavalry battle. You need a strong front horse. That'd be me. And when All Might showed us a Camino. That just standing up means you are strong. Harder.
Whoa. He's just... Oh my gosh. Nice. Dude, he just like willed himself to get harder. He looks insane. Ooh, frick. Yeah, he's gonna end it quick. God, oh, Kirishima, that's... Oh. You just punch a hole through that guy? Oh, he launched himself. I thought he skewered someone on the other side, but he just launched himself. Okay. Yeah, where the heck were you? He just suffocate him till he passed out? He's like Kirby.
What's your hero name? Yeah, I want to know too. I'm Red Riot. Well, you can bet that's a name I won't be forgetting. Red Riot's the coolest. Thank you. Why didn't I help?
What?
Maybe now.
Did something happen to his family? Like,
Maybe I could be.
before he had a quirk? What the heck? Okay, we need to learn more about his backstory.
I've heard of power boosting drugs before. They were originally made to help people with weak quirks. But ones that can completely stop someone from using their abilities? Now that's bad news. This could be a supersized problem.
Solid episode. All right, so that was a good... I liked that episode. It was kind of focus on some side characters that don't always get top billing. Momo, Sue, Urarasha, like Kirishima, getting like they don't always get focused on a ton. And so I really liked that they were taking some time to put them in the episode in the limelight and not just like delegate them to like always background status. I don't think Midoriya was in this episode at all, which is props. Like, not a lot of shows one have the guts to do that, like sideline your main character for an entire episode, but not a lot of shows also have the like strength of character development that they've been putting in throughout the whole series, that when you don't have your main characters, like, it's still a strong episode. Um, yeah, and this was really good. We learned some new things. One, I feel like the most important thing that we learned was that not only do they have like the gun bullets that can take away people's quirks, but they also have these like canisters or syringes that will boost someone's quirk for like 2 or 3 minutes at a time, maybe. Yeah, and so Kirishima is on patrol with this big fat dude that eats food and just absorbs stuff. And then one of the guys from the big three, he's got like, they've got both like, they both have like food oriented quirks. Like one guy, he just, I assume he has to eat a ton to maintain his size and ability to absorb things. And then the other guy, he can manifest stuff based on what he eats. I wonder if then he specifically tries to eat more animal based stuff so that he can use their abilities. Like, I assume if he just ate a donut, it wouldn't really do much. So he's probably not a vegetarian's favorite hero, I'm guessing, because he eats birds and chicken and stuff, and they are not a fan of that. But yeah, so Kirishima's along with them, and then these villains attack, which it looked like those were the same villains that were healed by Overhaul's quirk or whatever he did. So they're still doing villainy, just, you know, without any previous ailments. And they got the gun from him so that they could use it in case a hero stopped them. And they do get stopped, and then Kirishima gets to have his own shot in the limelight and show that he's not just some dumb side character. Like, he's a fully developed and fleshed out person. Like, he kind of has viewed himself as that, though. Like, he's viewed himself as this like side character. Like, the gap between him and his peers is so massive. I mean, it is, if we're being honest. It's huge. Midoriya and Bakugo and Todoroki are so far and above the rest of their class, it's insane. Granted, there are things that they wouldn't be able to do that some of these others can. Like, I think if Deku were to go against this guy that Kirishima fought, he would have died. He would have been cut to pieces by all his knives, because maybe he could have been real quick and knocked him out, maybe. But he would have had to use a lot of his strength. Like, I don't know if he'd be able to kick those knives and break them. Todoroki maybe could have held his own with his ice. Maybe he could have melted it with his fire. But yeah, I think this villain was perfectly suited to Kirishima's abilities. But the gap between them is huge. But it was nice to see Bakugo kind of remind him that sometimes all he needs to do to be strong is stand up and be like, I'm a hero. I'm gonna stand up and do this. And he kind of like willed himself to just, like, that's his ultimate move, is just willing himself to be harder. It'll be cool to hopefully if he keeps training, that he can hold it for longer, so he can use that for an extended period of time in a fight instead of just a minute. And then it gave this like brief little glimpse into his past that I don't think's ever been mentioned before. It looked like a villain like attacked his family or something, or someone that he knew that he could not protect, either because he didn't have his quirk yet, or he like couldn't control it well enough, or he just like wasn't good enough yet. And now he's like, it was, I want to know more about that. Like, I feel like they can't just drop that little flashback in there without explaining further. Anyway, what else? Overhaul had a meeting with I'm so bad at remembering these people's names. Like, I remember most of the main characters' names. The guy who disintegrates people with his hands. He's the head of the League of Villains. Someone knows his name. I can't think of it for some reason. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. Overhaul had a meeting with him, and he kind of proposes joining them, but not in a way where he's like working under them. Like, this has to be an equal partnership, or he's not going to do it. So it'll be interesting to see their dynamic between who takes charge in what situations and what conversations, and how what this will lead to in the future, and like what Overhaul's big plan is. Like, I want to know exactly what he's trying to do, because they still haven't quite revealed that yet. Like, is he just trying to get rid of heroes? Maybe, like, he's just trying to get rid of them all by taking away their quirks with boosting his own. Like, he's just trying to take over the game of everything and get rid of heroes, or like create his own institution of heroes and just be in charge like the Illuminati. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens in the future. But yeah, those are all my thoughts for this episode. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Full-length reaction down on Patreon. And that's everything I got. So I'll see you next time. Signing off. Peace.